Pledge of Allegiance, and which will be led by Alderman Payne.
Heavenly Father, Lord, tonight we thank you for the new board that's been elected, and we thank you for the people that elected them. Lord, we know that your word says that you are a free giver of wisdom. If we would just ask, Lord, so we ask tonight that you give us wisdom to handle not only tonight's agenda, but the next 40 years. In your name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first on the agenda this evening, we got with the need to make official city appointments with the new administration. We do need to have 2 executive session segments in our meeting. So is there a motion to determine the need for the first executive session? Got a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The need is what I just said. We need to discuss citywide personnel and appointments. So is there a motion to declare the first executive session? Got a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The mayor and board will now enter executive session.
We had 4 this fire.
By the time he graduated, he needs a pretty
Yeah. I got it when I thought they know this one. It started off. Oh, when we got there. So he was one of my helpers that came over. And he ain't got he'll wired up. He came over, we'll get out and do the help. I said, man, here, hold your finger right here. That time over there in town. So this one right here, he was on there, I was talking to him. Fort Hart. And you know, Jack was there and he was shooting. He was next time I ran into him, he wasn't no big younger anymore. No, he was out. I didn't know he was over helping you. I was out behind the trailer. He got over here, we call him Charlie. His arm, like a T-Rex, get up here next to his chest. And I don't know if you know, but he was walking around like this. He ran over there. He tripped one time, went around and pushing. Over where you were doing his, somebody cut the trees off on that far from the ground. I was carrying too far. Well, that's probably easy for him. They were quiet. Yeah, he's about 5'7", 5'6". His center of mass is about right there. Good close to him. Pushed him all. I think had to push him around. So I told you. That's what you are. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You need to get to bed. You need to get up at the proper time. Yeah, but you don't have to text me every morning. I wish mine was up when I think. So I gotta go over back and forth about my time. So I didn't text him when I got up. I waited and paid. Put Sparky out, I'll feed him when I leave. He's leaving before me a little bit. Well, he's working 7. I get a text about 25 minutes later. I think I'm going in today.
You're gonna see a little bit of
Party chick. He wasn't clean. He called me a migraine. He probably told him 8 o'clock. He'll text him. He'll be early. Like, yeah, they were out in the middle of the field. At the road. She was actually working.
Oh, well, as soon as we got done, we had to start calling. So I figured you did. Next thing we did, you gotta get them off the trailer, get them out. So we are pulling the wire in the airway, we never look back. Not gonna flame. I was all the other junk.
150 feet. That goes in the snow to the. So I know, I can see y'all flame up after they fire it up.
Yeah,
I see a bunch of them.
they'll sit there and just, go off. Next thing you know, that pot will catch fire.
I kept watching After Woodlands, and the fires light up.
You know, we had enough, you think like you had to shoot water on the motor. Which is good.
He drove us up to their car. So we're right there where Jake, when he pulls up, he turns the side light on. So it's shooting the car. I got a ball of stickers, side ball, with meditation numbers there. Oh, that's cute. Man, I got extra going on your truck. He goes, I ain't got a truck right now. It's in the shop.
Shop.
When you get it out, you can have it back. Shop to come out. Yeah.
Right now, it's my truck.
That's what I keep trying to mind take. Mine ain't on that tire.
Matter of fact, he woke up this morning. Survey crew to pick up. Well, last week, I had one. And they don't have one. So Dusty called me. So I didn't go to work. How was it? Oh, I was right.
I'm going to them.
And he was bad, won't he say?
Yeah.
He won't have to be the fallback.
The only time that's usually a fallback is smaller city.
See, I need to use it this weekend, and I think he thought some Monday, he was there. I need it. And I need, he told me, that's different from you. Hey, we put,
You know, that's when I took that. One thing I admire, he eats his fun. He ain't never had as far as I like.
Sure.
He didn't have to go nowhere.
Well, I got messed up. It's like the.
And he's not sure where I'm selling, because after it's done.
He's big.
And if he can make that much money, he's not working too much of
I'm sure he got rid of more than he took out. He's on the list. Probably got 3,000 in a line, so the next 5,000, you're gonna be even with your truck. And when we sell it, we ain't even gonna get it.
That's right. Yeah, all that stuff they put on it, don't ask.
ice, like cake ice.
They got stuff. Google the project. But now, if I walk in, but these are snap bars.
Steve.
Yeah, they don't have the diamond.
Right. But you know, and I didn't know this.
Each will have a foot. Like,
You can get, it's called trespassing.
but he's
You
dying.
can go in the garden, it's called trespassing.
Lives here. Right now, he don't have tires for that. But he was straight.
Yeah. And
I'm not approving.
then you'll hear him bring that to the art here, you can leave. But you don't know any of it. I had to write these roads through the park before you get to my neighborhood. Don't you? And we don't live the furthest away. I said, there's a good quarter mile walk out there to get you a truck. You won't. I just can't wait for the big neighbor I got.
Take friends, that's still hard to those spots out. That's pretty cool. Same reason. I said, no louder what you got right now. Muffled the conference, then he went to another 100 and extended out.
Right now, rear quarter panel. Matter of fact, he hit the back so bad, I can tell you, the whole bed was shift line. And the other quarter panel.
Across the street, my neighbor,
You want to mix color?
I said, you got to look at it.
Still shooting it,
Took it up there.
start shooting
To get it all.
Power reels and dry fire and weapons mobilization. They all have to be doing.
You're there and yonder. Sent that letter today. Do you want an apple?
Yeah, I'll be watching it.
I'm trying to get all that boys down there.
I don't know how long it took them.
It took them a while.
Today?
Longer than that. We had to keep on. On the way back there. It's supposed to be long.
Places they
You just take a little bit of, some water,
Chick-fil-A. I also would have.
drain that off, and then put your legs underneath it.
used to go. Come across the street.
And then when I was those are 2 years ago. June, Texas.
Late at night. That's a big girl. Across the road, comes down and straight across the road. He bought all this.
Now, usually,
It's a lot. It's 600.
oh, I could, but I shouldn't. So, actually, they did the 20-pack with those. So Jacob started at about 12, 13.
They don't usually do. Well, they said there's different personnel and appointments and
Trans people there. 20 years worth. Not here.
yeah. Hey,
all these, you go in the shop. So we have for, it's hard to argue with.
We keep military. So we're open.
This one is next to watch people who does that they're swimming and stuff. She can't really go
But these, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
They don't maintain it, so it's all for rabbits and snakes.
Your peaceful look. 0, 1, 2, 3, like this is 10.
I'm worried about the dog.
We did that in the military.
That's my deal.
So, she said he was probably
Today.
following the procedure, necessarily. Yeah, probably do it. So,
Man, he would tear up the walls.
there's nothing we can do.
Oh, they're running it. And that baby starts screaming. No, when he threw both of them.
He could have been a little different. Or he may have to work.
took me a minute to remember the situation. And so she read it. I said, so we're going eastbound and westbound. And she was the one. He probably never read the book. I never read it. So once you call him, let him know. And the witnesses are family members. We want to back in the house. Maybe somebody needed to address. She said she would call her. So they're getting Jamie called narcotics office. He had to come to it. James Marty. James over there. Yeah. So they called TC or whatever. He's coming tomorrow. I said, I'll get you the appraisal. But if they want to come with the car themselves, just set on it to you. Not that you worry about cars. No, but I think it's I told her, I think, that you just told us inside of their bag. So well, now after I told her, the other one, all we need is inside. That's definitely. But we're trying to bring it because he was
also told us they set the budget. Commissions are appointed by Aldermen, so if you have a park commission, each and every one of them is personal, and they meet, and discuss how they make recommendations. Those recommendations affect them, they, it's, City of Southaven, should have control of those should have.
Southaven. I'm serious. If you think of it, if you listen, you will hear Southaven and Virginia's. Not very often. Exactly. And if you hear it the first time, you won't hear it the second time. And my husband, he listens to it every night. But you don't hear it. And my husband said it's because Southaven takes care of her. They police their own problems and they don't let it get over them. You don't hear nothing about stolen cars. I'm guessing the news is supposed to get it from the police report. If there was a police report filed, she said the policeman, she said the police was here, to Memphis, and then turned it over to the Memphis police, and it was something the policeman probably should have done. And they said, maybe something, she said, maybe that's what she did.
Is there a motion to reopen the public meeting?
Second.
We got a motion from Alderman Hoots, second from Alderman Payne. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Public meeting is now open. We'll move on to the next thing on our agenda is the approval of minutes for the June 15, 2021 meeting.
2021 with the additions, deletions, or corrections.
We got a motion from Alderman Payne, second from Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Perez.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the selection of Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to appoint George Payne, Mayor. Second.
Okay, we have a motion to appoint Alderman at Large George Payne as Mayor Pro Tem. That motion was made by Alderman Wheeler. We got a second by Alderman Gallagher. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Perez.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Next on the agenda, personnel. And so we'll just do these one at a time. First on the agenda is to appoint a police chief.
I make a motion to appoint Megan Moore, police chief. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Wheeler to appoint Megan Moore as police chief, a second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman who?
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Perez.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is appointing a fire chief.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution of the Mayor Board of Aldermen appointing Danny Scallions as Southaven Fire Chief.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne to appoint Danny Scallions as fire chief, second by Alderman. Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman
Yes.
Alderman Jerome.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Perez.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of appointing city prosecutors.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen appointing Robert Hayes as municipal prosecutor. Second. Robbie Hayes, William Seal, and Deborah Brannon, and Amory Moore.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Payne to appoint all the city prosecutors, and a second by Alderman Gallagher. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of appointing city judges.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen appointing David Delgado. Jody Neiman. And is that it? David Delgado.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Payne to appoint David Delgado and Jody Neiman as city judges, as second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of appointing a city clerk.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve Andrew Hall as our city clerk.
Second.
We have Wheeler. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of appointing our city public defenders.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution appointing Benjamin Murphy and Keith Treadway as our public defenders.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of appointing city court clerk.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution appointing Thomas Maston as the City of Southaven court clerk.
A second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Next on the agenda, we're going to skip deputy city clerk. It's not mandatory that we appoint that position tonight.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt a resolution appointing Butler Snow as the city attorney.
We have a motion by Alderman Gallagher, a second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of appointing all of the assistant deputy city clerks.
Clerks, Ashley Ford, Nicole Hilario, Sonia Pride, and Alyssa Pruitt.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of appointing all the city planning commissioners. I'll,
If you want, you can all do, like, each party, everybody gets three people, just do one motion for all of them.
Okay.
That way, it'll be, unless you want to do it, see who all.
that'd be quicker if y'all don't have any problem with that. So I'll start it. I want to, and with my appointment, I want to appoint John Camp.
My appointment will be Chris James.
Cynthia English. June Rose.
Because I can't remember his name, sorry. Was Whitney here?
John David, would you?
Kevin Link.
I'll appoint Bill Brewer.
I think what we can do tonight is just come back to the next meeting if you want to. I don't think they need it again until the last one, every month. Nine, worst case scenario, they do get again, it's up for them. But in our nomination, we get that for next week.
Wait, let's do the website.
Don't know.
But we can probably do it after we come back from executive session.
Okay. Well, let's just go ahead. It's not a problem. Let's come back and do one more. If he,
Apologize.
that's okay. So let's go ahead now. Okay, so we got a motion and a second to, who made the, did you make the point them all? Who made the motion? You making a motion? All right, Alderman Wheeler's making a motion to approve 7 out of the 8 that we just mentioned. We got a second, Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Okay, and that motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of appointing city election commissioners. Do we want to do this tonight or? You making a motion to table? Okay, Alderman Flores makes a motion to, and Alderman Wheeler seconds that. Is there any discussion about that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is authorization to move the Ward 5 polling location from Fire Station number 4 on Getwell to the Parks Building at 3335 Pine Tar Alley, which is our Bank Plus Sports Center. Obvious reasons, if anybody was there on election day, it was an absolute nightmare. Just FYI for anybody that says, well, why didn't y'all do that before the election? I did bring that question up. I asked because we had so much going on with, we're trying to run two units out of Fire Station number. We got construction in the area too. If you move it during election year, then that's the worst thing in the world to do, because then people are gonna say, well, I couldn't find a nightmare on June 8th. But we recognize that it's a major problem, so that's the purpose of moving this thing now. So is there a motion to move this thing?
I'll second.
I figured you would, Alderman Wheeler.
I'll second it.
We got a motion, Alderman Wheeler, second Alderman Payne. And God bless our police chief, Danny Scallions. Appreciate your help on election day for performing miracles there, so I appreciate that. So we had a first and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 That motion carries. Next on our agenda is I'm asking for authorization for me to sign the property casualty insurance renewal. This is not health insurance. This is the physical damage protection and liability protection that we have on all facilities, our liability for all employees and operations. Every year we have a broker that shops the market to do this, to find us the best deal. We've had a great experience with Travelers Insurance. combing through the market, doing the market research, Travelers is still the best price and it's still the best option that we have for the renewal. I've met with the brokers and looked over all the coverages with Edie. We both did that, and we both still feel like that Travelers is our best option at this time. So we need to renew the policy. The difference in premium, it's right about the same. It's a few dollars less. Our premium for the year that's coming to a close is $1,759,010, and the renewal quote is $1,754,226. There's a lot that goes into this. We meet with Travelers every year and review losses. We've had, as y'all know, some large claims. We review those. They also work with us on helping us to make changes in our operations to minimize our risk and be a better risk, which gets us a better price and a guaranteed renewal. So we continue to do that throughout the year, but long way to say I'm comfortable with it. I think it's our best option. So I'm asking you for authorization to renew the insurance
I have a
policy.
couple of questions about it, and I wanted to get your input on it.
Sir.
A couple of things. I noticed the minimum deductible amount is $250,000. How many buildings do we know how many buildings we have in those flood zones? And with $250,000 deductible, do we think that it's going to do that much damage?
First of all, I don't know how many buildings we have in those zones. We can get that information. I don't know the
We can
answer.
always change the policy later if we want to.
Right.
I'm all for both for it tonight, getting it, but I had that question and then the same on the earthquake. With the deductible, most people.
Yeah, it's percentage, not a not a set dollar amount, correct?
So on a $10 million building, your deductible would be $2 million before they paid a dime. And that's just for the building itself, not for the contents. So I was just curious what the price would be if we change those. I'm an insurance agent by trade, so I don't normally recommend those. They're not for everybody because of such a large deductible that they have. But if we could just check on that.
We'll get that information for you. I will tell you this, that like in an earthquake situation, we're looking at a large insurable value. Like, granted, you have a deductible, but we're dealing with a large value with all of our assets. So, but
Well,
anyway.
and again, I wanted your opinion on this because I just had some questions.
Yeah.
I totally understand in the great respect. Appreciate your opinion.
Well, thank you. I will get you answers. I don't know the answers to those two questions, but I will get that. And as you stated, we can make adjustments. We can bring that back before the board. And if there's decisions that we want to make to the policy after the renewal, we can definitely do that. So thank you for that. Okay. So, any other discussion?
I was just going to make a motion to be accepted.
Okay.
As is.
We got a motion by Alderman Gallagher.
Second.
Second by Alderman Payne. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Okay, that motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution to adopt city public record policy. Mr. Nick Manley.
This is the same resolution, or the same policy we've had in the past, I think, that we need to re-adopt tonight. However, there is one addition. We've added forms for the city police department that will reflect body camera footage and the costs associated with that, just so there's a standard form and policy for that. So tonight, just need authorization to adopt the resolution for the city public record policy and as presented with the form. Department and city clerk. clerk's office.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda, the city purchase policy.
Term, we need to adopt that. It's the policy for, in accordance with 31713 Mississippi Code, where if anything's below $5,000, there's no quote required, and the department head can proceed anything between 5,000 to 50,000. 2 written quotes are required, and then anything above 50,000 goes to bid, which must be approved for the board. So it's the same policy that we've been operating under. So tonight, authorization to renew that policy for the new term.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the purpose of adopting the city employee handbook.
Same thing, it's it's adopting what's been in place, that including the change of outside employment, also reflects Alderman Jerome as an alderman to this handbook, and also Melanie Drysdale is working on updating this revised to be able to be presented to the board at a later date, either later this year, early next year, for a revised handbook and policy. But tonight, we have authorization to adopt this for the new term as presented.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda, we need approval for the Mississippi Municipal League Annual Conference.
Second.
We got a motion by Alderman Kelly, second by Alderman Payne. Is there any discussion?
Did we approve the travel back?
I
Do
don't,
we have to do that at the beginning of the term?
yeah, we didn't approve it, and we were waiting until July for the new term. We didn't do it at the time, because Alderman Flores said we didn't know who would be elected.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for MML voting delegate.
Whoever wants to be the
I'll
delegate.
volunteer. I'll volunteer.
Yeah, have one delegate, and you have an alternate as well.
I think Joel.
I was gonna say Raymond. I think Raymond would be a fan.
Raymond's done his
Mr. Mayor, I make
time.
a motion. Who wants to do it?
I'll do it.
I make a motion, we.
I'm not sure what it is, but I'll do it.
You vote for the positions like MML has, different positions. It's,
Vice President.
right.
And actually, you go, it's a lot of fun.
If the mayor's there, Alderman's on you to do that.
I move we have Mayor Darren Muscle White as our primary vote delegate and Alderman Lee Jerome as our secretary.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Next on the agenda is a professional services contract with Tank Pro to paint the Airways water tower.
Yes, Tank Pro is the contract we have in place for our regular scheduled maintenance for water towers. This is going to be outside that scope. So tonight we need authorization to enter into the professional service contract with Tank Pro for the painting of Airways water tower, which will also include stripping it and then paving it as well. So tonight, authorization for the mayor to sign this contract as presented with Tank Pro so they can get more from the air wastewater tower.
So moved.
We have a motion from Alderman Gallagher, second from Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for a sole source provider for our Southaven Police Department.
Yeah, this resolution will allow for the purchase of certain Glock guns from Southern Connections in the amount of $23,000. I can't remember the exact number, but $23,000 for those guns. They're the exact model, exact replica of what we need. Southern Connection is the only entity that provides that. This was also included as part of the previous surplus that we had done with the guns under 1725-25. So tonight, authorization for the sole source purchase from the Southern Connection for those blocks as only provided by Southern Connection as set forth in their sole source letter.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion from Alderman Flores, second from Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a specific agreement with MDOT.
Yeah, this agreement is, what happened was, obviously everyone knows that when they widened I-55 years ago, that was obviously being completed since the widening, though, it was discovered that the temporary easements were never donated back to the city. So those temporary easements need to be donated back to the city now that construction is complete on I-55, which was done obviously years ago. So tonight is the authorization to sign, for the mayor to sign this agreement with MDOT, noticing that we will accept our easements back that were not needed, but that were just the construction temporary easements as part of that widening, so that can be finalized in MDOT's file and our file as well.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for the retirement. Is this the weapon?
Yes.
For the weapon for Wayne Perkins.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Hoots, second by Alderman Jerome. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
The agenda is a resolution for surplus.
This is authorization to surplus the property. I think it's for its vehicles in 1725-25.
Mr. Mayor, move we adopt a resolution of the mayor and board of Aldermen in the city of Southaven declaring surplus property in the police department.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is appointment of an ADA coordinator.
Yes, this appointment is tonight for Melanie Drysdale to be an ADA coordinator as part of MDOT projects and other projects. We have to have an ADA coordinator. It was in the past Chris Wilson. Obviously, Chris is no longer with us, so tonight authorization to appoint Melanie in that position as the HR director for the ADA coordinator for the city and to sign any documents associated with ADA coordinator positions within the city.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Wheeler, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution to claim private property.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt the resolution granting authority to clean private properties presented to the state.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion among the board? Hearing none, is there anyone in the audience that has a financial interest with any of the properties would like to speak? Hearing or seeing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. There is no planning agenda this evening, so I'll move on to the next. Next on our agenda is our mayor's report. Just a couple of quick updates with the federal rescue money and other federal programs with infrastructure that have been tossed around. There is a grant that is available for the city of Southaven. Well, we're applying as a city for the city of Southaven, but our Senator Roger Wicker, his office reached out to us to inform us about this grant. It's for road infrastructure projects up to $22 million. So we've looked at all of our long-term projects, and along with Whitney and Dan Cordell, we feel like the best use of this money would be an extension of Nail Road. And I know that all of us have talked about the importance of having another east-west corridor to relieve traffic on Goodman, Getwell, Church. And I say Getwell even though it's north and south, because if you were to allow Nail Road to be cut all the way through, you would allow people to get off of Getwell Road and get east and west. So we feel like that's the best value for the money. And what this would do would extend Nail Road from Elmore all the way to Getwell. And also add, median, pedestrian paths, the whole deal. So we've gone through all the hoops. We've submitted the application and requested that. It's not guaranteed that we'll get it. Do feel like that we have a good chance of getting it. It's a great project, but nothing anybody needs to do. Just wanted to inform y'all about that and answer any questions. It helped the city tremendously. Yeah. Any questions about that? Next, just an update on our #1 project that is already funded is the Getwell South Widening Project. We applied for federal NPO funds about 5 years ago, and have been waiting on that to go through all the steps to get approved. We are approved. We are funded. It's $9 million and something. I don't have the exact number. It's under $10 million. But this project will relieve a tremendous traffic congestion problem we have in our city between Church Road and Star Landing. You may know now if you've driven south on Getwell Road at Church, it bottlenecks, it goes down. It's a major nightmare. So this project again has been in the works for about 5 years, and now they are getting the right of way. So as of right now, we're on pace to start construction by December of this year. They did tell us that if we run into any hang-ups with getting right of way, they won't start it, late December or January. They'll wait until the weather gets a little better. So it could start December. If not, it will definitely be under construction in the spring of '22. That'll make a big difference for our city and relieve a lot of traffic congestion problems right there. So that's the update on that.
Will we revisit
Yes, that will be in this, or yes. Right, and what Alderman Ford is talking about, a few years ago, we realized that people trying to get out onto Getwell from Dickens Place and some of the other subdivisions, Lakes and Nicholas and Castle Ridge, there was no light at College and Getwell, and we didn't have enough room. We knew we were going to have this project. It's going to have to be a permanent fix. So there's not enough room right there to add a turning lane. So it's not a perfect situation. It's a pain in the butt, actually. But we weighed the risk and felt like that it was such a safety issue, especially young drivers trying to turn there. Had a few close calls with young drivers having serious accidents. So we went ahead and put up a temporary signal right there. What Alderman Ford is talking about, this project will do it right now. It'll have masked arms, turn lanes, the whole deal. So. Any questions about that? The next thing I'm going to talk about is something that I've tried to avoid talking about in a public meeting because it's giving credibility to some people that don't deserve credibility. But there's an app called the Nextdoor app. It's a social media app. And so I've been contacted numerous times by some citizens, and I keep saying the same thing over and over. It started during the campaign. There was a very weak political candidate that had no other reason to run, really no plan, other than to hone in from a political strategist on two things that every city has. Every city in America has two negative things about it. We all have crime, and we all have an old part of town. That every city in America is like that. And so there was a lot of misinformation that circulated during the campaign. I did my best, as mayor to put the facts out there and clarify, answer questions, and back it up with facts. I did that. But there's a carryover effect to that. So I've been told that on the Nextdoor app that there's a group of people that are trying to rally and do what they call charge the public meetings to express concerns over crime in our city that's not fact-based. And so I want to make sure everybody understands this. And IT, can we please put the crime statistics on the board? So this is straight from the horse's mouth. This is from the Southaven Police Department. And if you don't believe the police department, I probably can't help you. You probably should go, build a bunker in your yard and get somebody to feed you 3 meals a day and don't come out. But these are the facts. And if you look at the facts, if you look down, first of all, we'll talk to you about calls and services. Our police department does an incredible job. We face so many more calls than we did 10 years ago. And we know that we have challenges in our police department. We talk about this frequently. We don't think about crime during election years. We think about crime every day. We get reports every day. I get reports about the crimes in the city every day. It is the #1 priority. Everybody, I'm speaking for the people up here, everybody up here knows that without public safety, you have nothing. It is the #1 priority. We have always funded our police properly. We always will fund our police properly. We have plans to address new challenges that we have in 21 that we didn't have in 2010, even some that we didn't have in 2020. So we are committed like no other city. The stuff that you see on the news about cities in America not funding their police properly and all that, that's something that happens somewhere else. That's not something that happens in Southaven, Mississippi, nor is it ever going to happen in Southaven, Mississippi. But I'm going to point you back to the statistics. These are the real numbers. So if you look at the numbers, you're going to see some fluctuation. Obviously, there's some things that change. With the warehouses in the city, there's auto break-ins because there are some organized crime units that do that. We face new challenges just because of sociological factors in our country. There's no secret about that. If you go look at the weapons that we confiscate, maybe 5 years ago, you see a lot of 12-gauge shotguns and some 9mm. Now you're seeing every assault rifle that's known to man is there. So this is a national issue. We face challenges. But the bottom line is I'm not going to let the people of my city be misled and there to be fear-mongering going on. We know we have challenges. We have a great police department, great police chief. We're on this every day, but the numbers don't lie. If you look at the actual numbers, the statistics, our police department have done an incredible job of maintaining pretty much a flat line through all the crimes. The other thing, if you want to hear other details about some of the ridiculously false things that were circulated during the recent campaign, you can go to the city website, southaven.org, and you can read my official statement that is compiled with official data from the FBI and from our own police to show that there is no such thing as crime being out of control in our city. Let me tell you that the real estate values are higher in our city than they've ever been in the history of Southaven. We still issue more residential building permits than any other city in DeSoto County. We have the highest sales tax revenue of any other city in DeSoto County, which tells you that people want to be here, they want to do business here, they want to live here. If crime was out of control, you wouldn't have those numbers. Go ask someone in Detroit or Chicago if they had the same thing that we have. You can bet that they have declining numbers In Southaven, Mississippi, that's not the case. But I'm gonna wrap up by saying there's a group of people that want, on a social media page, that want to circulate and scare the people of our city. So I want to point you to the facts. This is the first place the facts are. This is also on the city website. Go to the Mayor's Report blog. It's the first thing on the blog, and you'll see the official statement that puts all the facts out there. But I want everybody, mainly, I wanted y'all to be aware that that is coming. It's a little organized group. Let's go charge the board meetings, and it's all based on false information. So that's all I got about that. Any questions?
I want to point out too, some of these numbers are declining in spite of our growth. So we've had tremendous growth in the city as well. You would expect more crime to come with growth, but yet our numbers are still pretty flat. So
That's a good point. We haven't gotten the results of the census yet, but we expect that our census is going to be about 58,000 people. When we took office in 2013, it was 48,000. So we've almost had a 25% increase in population just in the time that we've been here. So there's no doubt we have a fast-growing city still. Businesses, our economy is great, still growing. And you also got to credit, the things that you've done along with our police department. Our police have come to us. We do things with technology that we didn't do 5 years ago. That's going to help us fight crime in the future. But it's a different animal out there now, and we have the right people in place to control crime. But I'm not going to let people stir bad comments against my police department, and nor am I going to let my citizens be afraid for not a valid reason that's backed up by facts. That's all I have. Any other discussion? Okay. All right, we'll move on. Next on the agenda, we do have we have two people that signed up to speak, and the first one is Ruth Willis. If you will, please come forward.
Thank you. First of all, we do have a good police department. We don't have a good police literally, but we do have a good one that's in place. My question is more or less with the code enforcement officers. We have a problem with them, I guess, picking and choosing. They decide who they want to take it and who they don't. So if your grass is overgrown and they don't like where you're at, then they issue tickets. But the next door neighbor, their grass can be higher, they don't get a ticket.
Why would they do that?
I'm not sure, that's why I'm here.
They don't do that. That's why I'm asking that.
No, they do.
They don't do that.
My daughter lives on Elmbrook.
If you'll give me the address, we'll research that and see what activity. And that's a good point, just if I may help you. There's a lot of times when we give warnings for code, and there's a lot of times either a warning has been given or a citation may have been written, and it's in a court process, and it looks like nothing's been done, but there actually is a ticket that has been written. So if you'll give us a specific address, we'll give you a report on that.
Elmbrook, right here in Southaven.
What's the address?
I got it.
Okay. Christy, would you write the address down, please? Would you give her the address right here?
And also, there's it's a big ditch, but it's the city's. And it's in between Elmbrook and Ashbrook. No, Cedarbrook. Sorry, Cedarbrook. And it's like overgrown, it has big old rats in it, it has snakes, and the city doesn't do anything about it.
Okay, well, first, we'll check every ditch is not a public ditch. So we'll need to check and see if it indeed is part of a public drainage system. So again, if you'll give, Christy, would you write that down? We'll check on that.
It runs from almost to the end of it.
What were the road, it's in between which two streets?
In between Elmbrook and Cedarbrook.
Yeah, Bradley, do you know if that's a city ditch or not?
No, sir, we'll check.
Okay, we'll check on it, yeah.
I mean, if they could just clean it up, that's all I'm asking, that way the rats and stuff will go away, and mosquitoes and all that crap.
Yeah. Is there standing water in the ditch?
Yeah, all year
Okay.
round.
Yeah, there are things that can be done about that. Yeah, we'll check and see if it is a city ditch, and if it is, we can do something about
Okay.
that.
And then, how do we get like a mailing list of the things that we're supposed to do and not supposed to do? Because when the code enforcement brings out a list, it's different from the one that's on the website.
No, the official answer is on the website. All the code of ordinances are on the website. So if you go there, you can see anything that I see. There's nothing that you don't see that I don't see, or the code enforcement officer. But there is no second list. We go by the codes that are posted there. So that's the official place.
On the one that's on the website, it says nothing about, you have to have a chart with rocks on it to park your car into your yard.
Yeah, it's on there. Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, then it's new, because I didn't see it.
And if you'll call my office, Christy will be glad to point that out for you.
Okay.
Now, did you call somebody called, okay, that's why we were saying these questions that you're asking, we can get answers for you immediately on that. So
Okay.
we can do that. You don't have to, I mean, you're welcome to come to a public meeting, but if you'll just call my office, we'll put you in touch with the right people that can help.
Okay, I appreciate that. Also, the State Line Park, it's like people go there at night, especially after 8, 9
You
o'clock.
talking about Greenbrook Lake?
No, this one is the State Line Park right there next to the golf course. I don't know the official name of it.
Yeah, that's Greenbrook Lake, yeah.
Okay, they're trashing the park at night. Go there, I mean, it's like, there's garbage cans there. They just won't put it in it.
That's frustrating, isn't it?
It is.
It is for us
Who likes
too.
to go there?
Yeah.
And the other question is, who's the alderman for Hillbrook?
Alderman Kelly?
And so I think that's what I do.
Okay, I appreciate you coming forward. Last thing I'll say, or two things I'll say, Aldermen do a great job. We have over 400 employees that are ready and willing to help you. All you have to do is call us. Let us know what the concern is. And if you don't get the results you want, you copy me. Anybody in this city can email me 24/7. I read emails at 3 a.m. a lot of times, usually every night. So you can copy me. My email address is on the website. It goes straight to my phone beside my bed. I'll answer your email. So
Okay.
if you ever have a concern, email me. I'll make sure you get an answer.
Well, my other question is, can we have more patrols on Hillbrook?
We can relay that to police chiefs right here. We have done things in Brook Hollow already. We have changed lighting in Brook Hollow to fight crime in Brook Hollow, done a lot of things in Brook Hollow. Obviously, we're not going to share the playbook with the criminals,
I understand
but
that.
there's a lot of things that we do in Brook Hollow. We understand that we have some challenges there, but yes, our police are hearing you right now, so we can help with that too.
Another question, is it possible to have cameras on the lights in the main intersections and stuff where people are crazy?
Again, we're not going to share the playbook. We do have cameras in this city, but I can't tell you where they all are.
Okay.
But I can assure you that there's a lot more than you're aware of.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I haven't run into any of them, because I don't have a ticket.
How do you know?
Because I drive right.
Yeah. Maybe somebody's watching you. Who knows?
Hey, good Lord watches me every day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Next on the agenda, we have Miss Leola Thomas.
Honorable Mayor and Board. I had called, I had concern about the filth, the trash all over Roscoe Road, especially from Sweeney to Homer. It's in the drainage, you got rags, beer bottles, paper, just everything you name. So
On Rasco?
on Roscoe Road,
Yeah.
from Sweeney almost to Homer. And then sometimes I come out and pick up trash at the end from coming out of my street, because I live in Central Park, and I pick up the trash, but I'm kind of afraid to go on Roscoe Road. And so when I called the police department one time and asked them about putting up no littering signs, and she said, well, she would talk to code enforcement about all the trash. And so I never did hear anything back from that. And then another one of my issues, I respect the law. And so speed limit, I try to drive within the speed limit. I take the side road, so I make, don't get in anybody's way, but people are rushing me. It usually didn't be like this about a year ago, but you have people from Memphis, now Southaven residents will start doing it. They're driving fast and go in front. So, and I'm very attentive, but it's aggravating. I almost had an accident today. I'm driving up, and I need to get in the turning lane. Well, somebody come way behind me, and I had to get back over in the lane because they had pulled up in my spot. So that's kind of aggravating, so the traffic is just horrible, and the trash is horrible, so it's almost embarrassing even just to go down Rascal Road. So that's my concern right now.
Yeah, well, what we can do, Bradley is our Public Works Director. Actually, street signs are managed by Public Works, our Streets Division. So Bradley's in the audience, he's hearing you. We want to just inspect the area on Rascal Road between Sweeney and Tullahoma. That's what you said? And we want to check that, but that's our responsibility. We'll clean that up, we'll get that straightened out. We do have that on a rotation, but as you know, in any given day, somebody can just disrespect. We fight that, it's a challenge for us with litter, but we'll check it out and we'll get it cleaned up. And then as far as the traffic, you know, if you see an issue, our police do patrol the entire city, but if you see issues like that where somebody is tailgating you or driving recklessly, call the police. You know, that's what our team is there for, to make sure our city stays safe. Thank you very much. Okay, next on the agenda is our personnel docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the personnel docket as presented on the table.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Coots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And that motion carries. While we're talking about personnel back, Alderman Gallagher wants to make an appointment for the planning commission.
Yes, I'd like to nominate
Second.
We got a motion to nominate Dean Upchurch to the planning commission, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is the city attorney's legal update.
Just one quick item, earlier in the year, we approved change orders for fire station number 5 to be done in accordance with 31713 for those that are under 1%, to be signed by the mayor and or chief guidance. Tonight, just putting this into the minutes, that there was a change order in the amount of $19,786, so associated with undercut done during the dirt work. It's already been signed. The approval was done in accordance with 31713, so this is 1% or less of the contract price. So just putting that to the minutes tonight and noting that for the minutes as part of the meeting tonight.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is our utility bill adjustment docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the utility bill and leak adjustment docket as presented.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Next on our agenda, we have 2 claims dockets tonight.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve claims docket number 1 in the amount of $5,614,043.15, including demand checks.
We have a motion on docket 1 by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Docket 2.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve claims docket number 2 in the amount of $16,368.42.
Thank you. We have a motion by Alderman Payne on docket 2, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
That motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is the purpose of determining the need for executive session again. Got a motion from Alderman Kelly, second from Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The need this evening is claims and litigation against Southaven Police Department, Public Works, and city in general. Land acquisition, Southaven Police Department personnel, and citywide personnel, and economic development and tourism in the city. Is there a motion to declare executive session?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion from Alderman Flores, second from Alderman Gallagher. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, motion carries. The mayor and board are now in executive session.
Send it to me in the morning. Put my address in. I don't know if the camera that you. I did. I said there was
Congratulations. Congratulations.